and I'd like to welcome you to my little shop of spirit. I'm talking to someone today who has mastered self-control. They've done so through access to living nightmares. This nightmare that you encountered would have made you feel like a target, but you were made into a target and you didn't know any other way to be. So it's almost like you were born into this position. So that can be, it doesn't mean necessarily that you've had to hold that position since birth, but it can mean like since you started somewhere, or since you met someone, or since something was new. But that may be since you were new. So maybe this does mean since birth, but since the start of something. You were made into a target and didn't know any other way, because that's what you were made to be in that place. You were sort of given scraps in this environment, really, but you never knew any better. Coming back to that, you never knew any other way except for to be the target. And you didn't. I think you thought that was, the game of your life, but it still made you sad, And I think in this space where you were given scraps, you learned to play alone, if you want to call it that. Just like be alone, though, basically, And you have a really like all-encompassing, there are no ends to it. You have this all-encompassing love and emotional, you have like a endless emotional realm to offer, but you're sort of waiting to show it to someone. So let's see what message Spirit has for you. You have a very intense reading. It's becoming confusing, but we're gonna, get clarity through the cards. It's interesting because, and kind of ironic, maybe you, experience irony in your life a lot. But, so we have the Chariot come out and the World come out. The Chariot reads, no obstacles will stop me now, but the World comes out in reverse, so it's almost like no obstacles will stop you. No obstacles will stop you now, but then it's like, you've been stopped. Okay, so let's see what's like up with this, these two cards. Let's get some more clarity on this. So, it looks like we have some programming or like some deprogramming to do. The reason why we have the Chariot and then the World in reverse, we get the Moon upside down. And the quote on this card is, the path may not be clear, but my intuition lights the way one step at a time. So maybe the path is clear for you, but you feel disconnected from your intuition, or maybe the path isn't clear and your intuition is screaming at you and you're not listening. You're not listening because of fear. Sorry, I was absorbing for a second. Okay, I'm starting to get like what's going on here. Okay, so we have I think everything happens in the right time for real, because, okay, so you may have had some fear and some anxiety about putting yourself out there, or, seeing success over the scenario may have caused you some amount of trepidation, okay, for whatever reason. And, okay, I forgot what I was saying there for a second, but I remember now. We're dealing with self-deception and like regaining composure. Okay, so when you gained control over the self, you were releasing self-deception and stuff, and regaining composure over this scenario that was a nightmare, where you were made into a target, sort of isolated, and not just physically, it seems, but physically for sure, but also like isolated, most obviously physically, but isolated intellectually, isolated emotionally, and then burdened by those isolations. And it's like gaining control over yourself didn't unburden yourself of those isolations. You have control over yourself now, yes, but you are still isolated. If you were to just take that isolation, the isolation in the world don't mix, okay? So there's like some sort of bridging that needs to happen between, like, self-control wasn't the answer alone. It may have been a salve to this nightmare that was going on, but it isn't the resolve to the situation, okay? And this nightmare like made you really isolated, okay? And I know I've discussed this, but I'm like, I have to, like, this is really big stuff that you're going through, okay? So I'm having to like retrace my thoughts here, like get into like other alleyways and stuff, but hopefully you're following along. Hopefully I'm not like trailing off too bad in so it's like there's a bridge here, but it's like self-control wasn't the answer. Let me gather for a second. Okay. So it's like in this nightmare state, even if you were self-controlling, you're still within the nightmare. Okay, so even if you're lucid dreaming, you're still within it. Okay, and it's like you didn't want to take this energy of, because you're still in it, so you're not detached from it. You don't want to take your not detached you. You haven't really fully charioted. Like the chariot energy is here, and you have like a foot in it, but you won't put your other foot in it and like close the door. So like the chariot's not taking off, and it can't. Okay, it's not going to take off with you like putting one foot on the ground and like, if you were to do that, if you were to leave your foot on the ground as the chariot's taking off, in a cartoonish way, I'm just sort of imagining you erase from the bottom up, like as it drives off. Okay, so like, you weren't ready. You weren't ready. That's why the world, okay, it's nothing personal. It's just you weren't ready. You weren't done yet. So let's see what you have to do to like, self-control was a tool that you picked up. It's not the answer to the scenario. So what is the answer to your how do you wake up from your nightmare so that this world reverse can be not reversed and your chariot can take off? Okay. And again, like the complexities continue. Okay. Like, the Hanged Man shows itself. It comes out sideways. Okay, so it's like you oscillate in this situation, this nightmare. I think you are, how's the way to put this? Like how you are, it's like you're, dulling yourself with something bad. Okay, because you find comfort in this scenario because it's what you know, but you oscillate between feeling trapped and feeling stagnated. So like stagnation is like you don't necessarily want to leave. So obviously in that part of your brain, you're still holding on to something here. Like something needs to, what is it that you're holding on to? Is that still there to hang on to? Or are you holding on to a fantasy? Okay, because imagine, or like remember, this is a nightmare. Okay, so there is element of like illusion and fantasy and waking reality here, and like it's like, are you totally checked in? Like you need to, I guess, and you're gonna have grips with this because one of the things you've mastered is self-control. So I think you're gonna be lucid enough to be honest with yourself, and hopefully you're being honest with yourself. You're only doing yourself, not only yourself, but you're primarily doing yourself a disservice before anybody else if you're lying to yourself. Okay, yada yada yada. Let's get into what is it you need to do? Okay, because we were asking that and this came out, but let's see what you need to do. Okay, so the judgment the judgment card wanted to pop out, but it didn't. It wanted to pop out reversed. So it's like, this is like indecision again. Okay, indecision. But I kept pulling until a card came up and I was like, what do we need to do? We're facing indecision, yes. what comes out though is 3 of Cups, and I was like, okay, so 3 of Cups is what we need to do to get to the World, you know, in its unreversed position. But I was like a little bit confused by that, and I wanted more clarity, so I was like, okay, can I get one more card? What do we get? Another indecision card. Okay, we get 2 of Wands, which in its upright position means a little bit indecision because there's like 2 paths unfolding, but in its reversed, it's revealed indecision, confusion, avoidance of facing reality, denial of truth, fear of making decisions, removal of blindfold, confrontation of issues. And let me tell you something. When Judgment was coming out, okay, I just got real serious. This is really serious though. When Judgment was trying to come out, the thing that called my attention to it was a refusal to learn a karmic lesson. Okay, and I do feel like this is on your part. Okay, I'm sorry. But I feel like this is on your part. And, let's see. Why do you refuse to learn the karmic lesson? Okay, what's stopping you from learning this karmic lesson? What's stopping you? Bad timing. You feel out of control. The pace is too fast. You feel like you have been made to make a quick decision. And there's a lot of challenge here, and the energy of this situation is very like fiery, okay, and destructive and hasty. So you feel rushed. You feel sad and pain. There's some sort of blocked emotion here, and it looks like it seems like something was like, you know, I'm getting the keywords miscarried, so it's almost like something ended in abruptly. Something in 12:21 on the timer as I say that. It's almost like something you were had something to be due or something, you know, and then it was like incomplete. So it's like you had expectations, but we have 7 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so that deals with deceit, lies, enemy masquerading as a friend, deception, secrecy, hidden agenda, survival, self-interest. You know, these would have been people and places that put, you know, cold, hard facts above, you know, and they, you know, I won't say cold, hard facts. I will just say they place, there's not a whole lot of like emotional value, like they don't value emotions. So, a lot of actions were taken out of a very like cold disposition. Okay, so we have come out Knight of Cups in reverse. So this deals with unrequited love, illusion, someone with a fragile sense of identity and poor personal boundaries. And we also have the Emperor come out in reverse. So I'm getting the sense that this is my feminines in, you know, oh my gosh, I just want to cry. Like, and you've been done dirty by your masculine. We have here abusive power, rigidity, stubbornness, lack of discipline, lack of control. I think this masculine didn't have healthy masculine energies within themselves, and they wounded the feminine in you, like behaving so recklessly and mindlessly during this period like they did, because it's obviously affected you. Like, coming with a card as serious as nightmare coming out, like I'm getting the image of someone waking up from a nightmare literally, and you know, cold sweat and feeling anxious and uncomfortable, not safe. Okay, I'm going to dig into my cards a little bit more, but I just wanted to say that, before we get into these final messages, like, my heart goes out to you. You're incredibly strong. You don't deserve this. Like, no one does. And you're going to get through this. Like, let's just see what it takes for you to get through this, okay? Okay, so in answering what we need to do to get through this, we get the Four of Cups in the Tower. Okay, so the Four of Cups deals with regret, refusing offers, missed opportunities, stagnation, and that goes back to our Hanged Man coming out earlier and oscillating between stagnation and feeling trapped. You're nostalgic for something that once was, but that thing isn't there for you to go back on anymore, and there isn't time for you to focus on the negative of the scenario. Even though you're being called to do that. Okay, Spirit is saying focus on love, your love that you have within yourself, and love yourself. Focus on that right now. So with the something that was coming through with me while I was shuffling there is that one of the things that it's going to take to get through this is literally just time. Okay, because there's like awakenings and perspectives and things of the sort that are unfolding right now that literally take time. Okay, and nothing else except for time. So you're going to have to give this time. And the card that we have on the bottom of the deck in regards to the scenario, what we need to do to move past the scenario or move through it, we get the Tower. I surrender to the storm. The keywords on this card are chaos, destruction, sudden upheaval, trauma, unexpected change, disaster, loss, tragedy, revelations, confusion, pain, divorce, abuse, violence, bankruptcy, natural disasters, shattering false beliefs, and this is the biggest one for me in regards to this reading, collapse of an old way of life, and shattering false beliefs. Okay, let's get a comforting message from Spirit before we go. And earlier when I was reading the Tower card, I'm not usually called to the numbers, but I did take notice to the 16 on this card, and we have come out in angel number 1616. So it's almost like confirmation that this Tower is the step for you to take forward, even though it does feel like chaos and it does feel like destruction, but you are destroying an old way of life. So I mean, it's only going to feel like what it is, but you have to get through to the other side, okay? And it's going to be walk through the flames to get there. But to end this reading on a soft note, because I know you need it, okay? We have 2 messages from Spirit, one coming from Archangel Sabriel, okay? And you can look them up and maybe get even further messages. The same thing with your number. So we have 1616 for your angel number, representing twin blessings. From Archangel Sabriel, though, his is a message of a new chapter begins. Step forward. And for your 1616 angel number card, we have double the blessings are coming your way. So we are going to close out your reading there. I hope that was useful, meaningful, important. If it was, don't forget to leave a like and your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe, because I'd love to see you again soon. For now though, bye.